today's video is going to be purely costs. So start to finish, every single video I will go through the costs. Now the van is completely finished. I've got my mattress in here, bed is done, decor on the walls, curtains in. But if you want to see all of that lot, I'll do a tour in another video at some point. But if you head over to my Instagram, if you don't follow me on there already, everything's on there. So go and binge watch everything, look at all the pictures, and you'll see everything that I've been doing over the last 2 months leading up to this video. Without further ado, let's get into the costs. Just grab a little cheeky shot of the rig which you're watching me on right now. Right, how today's video is going to work. So what I've done is I've collected all the receipts from the whole build, and anything which wasn't on these receipts I wrote down on a piece of paper and basically grouped all of my receipts into each video. So you have like insulation, you have decor, you have the electrics, then you have like the 12-volt electric system. So basically there was probably, I don't know, roughly about 15 different categories. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to tell you a total of everything to begin with, and then I'm going to break it down video by video. Without further ado, let's crack on. So the total cost to begin with was, I don't know if you can see it on that bit of paper on it, no, it's just being blinded. I'll grab some shots on my phone and you can see. So to begin with, the total cost was £2,739.59. Let's just be realistic here. I didn't expect it to come in at that much. I expected it to be roughly maybe £2,000 at the most. I kind of had a ballpark figure in my head thinking maybe I'd done it for £1,000. No, it was nearly 3. So most of that money did probably come in at the end, which was decor. I bought a really expensive duvet, bits and pieces like that, which I will go into more depth on. But let's get into video by video. Now, if you haven't seen the build series, I advise that you go and watch that after this video. I will put the link for the playlist in the description and on the end credit as well. So on my piece of paper, video number 1. Let's do this. The van cost. How much did the van cost? So on here I have written down about 4 to 5 grand. Now that didn't cost me, this van didn't cost me 4 to 5 grand because I got a good deal from my dad. This is an ex-hire van. So the van's probably cost me in the region of nothing, to be honest, pretty much. My dad wanted about half of what it's worth. So let's call that, I don't know, £2,000. Realistically, I've got a really good deal on it, but the van would cost in the region of £4,000 to £5,000. It's got about 120,000 miles on the clock. Second video, pallet buster. So first video was 4 to 5 grand, and then a lot of labour, just stripping the van out, getting it ready for the next steps. Obviously, I chose to go with pallet wood, so second video was buying the pallet buster, which is the tool I used. It was 20 quid, and then a lot of labour on the second video, getting the pallets ready, because I'd done them like round edge, so it wasn't super quick or easy, but pretty unique to this van. Haven't really seen it elsewhere. The pallet thing's been done a lot, but not like the round edge kind of log kind of style of pallet wood, which makes it look a lot more authentic, I think. The third video, so down on here you have the flap disc, which is basically the disc that I used for the grinder I used, and that got this effect, so kind of like round edge boards, and I haven't really seen this anywhere else yet. Maybe people will be inspired by this video. I usually just see square edge pallets in a lot of things, which I'm kind of glad that I did it different, because it's what most people point out and mention that they like about this van. And as well, from all of that prep work, from the sanding down, which took me probably about a week, you get a nice soft finish on the pallets, because pallet wood could be quite what's the word, splintery. The full video. So we have insulation. So the insulation cost me £97.45. Oh, I forgot that video number 3, it cost me £5. So the first kind of real expensive video is video number 4. Not expensive in the region of buying a van, that's just cost you £4 grand. But the first kind of bit of cash that you're going to need to spend for the insulation, I used Celotex, so obviously not the cheapest insulation, but probably the nicest to work with. I mean, Rockwool insulation would have been horrible, and I would have needed another breathable membrane on the inside to stop all of the fibres coming through, so that would have cost more money as well. So going with the Celotex was perfect. It's simple, easy, it's brilliant to work with, and I mean, this van, it is too hot. I might have to cut a roof light in here, so I definitely recommend the Celotex. Maybe stick with 25mm instead of going for 50mm, which I put in the walls. Moving on to video number 5. Now we're getting into construction. So obviously drill bits, screws, and then any power tools you might need, which I already had power tools, so obviously I didn't need to buy those. But yes, a lot of screws and drill bits, which come in at about £10 from my first video. There's a lot more of those that come in later. Moving on to video number 6, you have more screws and you have a jigsaw which I bought. It turns out that the jigsaw was crap anyway, but that cost me 35 quid, so not unreasonable. Actually, going back to the video number 5, I bought some wind deflectors, so they cost me £32.98. And the reason I bought the wind deflectors earlier on, which I'll bang in the video now or whatever, is because I wanted to leave all of the wood in the van. I wanted it to be able to dry out, so I needed to be able to leave the windows open a little bit, which was not good when it was raining, so they kind of stopped the water getting in the windows, but I could still have them open a little bit. That's that. Video number 7. So drill bits, screws again. This time maybe a few more screws, 20 quid. Not unreasonable again. Easy to be earning 20 quid here and there, and it's not really costing us too much so far on the build. Okay, video number 8. This is when it obviously got a little bit exciting. I burnt the wood in the van, the gas torch that I used, and I bought some varnish here, saying I bought some varnish. So it came to a total of £49.20. So stepping up a little bit from 30 quid, well, from like your 20 quid, but reasonable enough, not too expensive. Moving on to video number 9, scaffold boards. So we done the scaffold board floor. The scaffold boards I got a good deal on. They were 100 quid. So reasonable enough again. I bought 20 of them, 10 for my dad as well, which he's also used. So it was a good buy. I mean, if you buy those from a DIY store, they will be slightly more than £10 a board. You might be paying maybe £20–30 a board. I'm not quite sure. I think Dave paid quite a few for the floorboards in his hut, but I was lucky to get a good deal, which I actually found through Gumtree, I think. So obviously do a bit of shopping around. You might find some on eBay or on one of those kind of buy and sell sites a bit cheaper than buying them from, say, Juicens or B&Q or whatever. So moving on to video number 10. All of the paint and everything for building the shabby chic cabinet, which is literally just there. Look how good that looks, and it's got such like a maintained finish. It hasn't like faded or anything yet, and I've been living in the van for about a month now, so I've been on the road a little while, and it's been great. I really recommend this life. So obviously what I've written here is enough to build more. So I bought 2 different types of chalk paint and a finishing wax, and that came to 100 quid. Yes, it was expensive, but obviously there's enough to do lots of other things. I actually even done the board on my pull-out kind of crate with that paint as well, so, which is on my Instagram, so go and check that out. 11. So the crates themselves, obviously I hadn't by this point done the pull-out kind of work surface, but the crates cost £30 to build. So varnish, like screws, bits and pieces like that, and then obviously the electrics as well on video 11, which all of the bits and pieces for that came to about £192 all in. So the total on that video was £223 if you take into account the 30 quid. Now, if you're not really confident on doing the electrics yourself, maybe drop me a message and I'll come and do them. Either that, or you might be looking at maybe £100 to £150 a day on an electrician's labour. So that could be costing you a little bit more, but obviously if you watch my videos, that should take you through the whole process of doing the electrics yourself anyway. And if you do get stuck, don't be unreasonable, but drop me an email. The next video, this is a bit of a shambles by the way, sorry. Video 12, more screws, obviously cabinet there. I can't, this is confusing. I'm not really watching through on the video, so I'll just have to link all the videos in. Screws, £10, and I finished off the cabinet, bought the hinges, like the handle, the little button latch, which is like that and that. That came to, let's go back onto here, I've kind of lost myself now. That come to 24 quid on the cabinet there, and then we had the little LEDs, which are these things, which cost £12.95p. There you go. So when I did the cabinet, I think I said it was about £10 that cost me the bit, so it was a little bit more, but you know, they'll last forever essentially. And the LED lights are perfect. Like, they took ages to do and they've stopped working a few times, but obviously I know how to fix them, so it's never really been a problem. Video number 13, roof rack, cost me £107.99, and then you've got some paint, which cost me £7.99 for paint. Oh, must have been spray paint. And then you've got £72 on decor. From decor, what was 72 quid? Oh, all of these press plates. So you've got Lovely Day for a Guinness. You've got like a Coca-Cola one here, which is pretty cool, even though Coca-Cola's horrible. You've got like a Jack Daniels one, and there's another Guinness one over here, and I've got like a Camden one down here. So they come to about 72 quid. They're proper press plates, really good quality. I recommend buying those. If anyone wants the link, just ask and I'll put it in the description, or send you the link in a comment or something. Moving on, so the total on that video was, I keep losing myself on this. The total was, I haven't actually written down what the total was. Oh, the mirrors as well. So I think the paint for the mirrors was £29.71. Yeah, and the cabin, like the centre console in the front of the van, come to 24 quid for like hinges, things like that. Moving on to video number 14.
I just needed to
we've got the floor in the front, maybe? Yeah, the parquet floor in the front, so that would have been like varnish. That come to about 25 quid. And the skateboard, the sun visors, and the little centre console skateboard come to 22 quid all in for 3 of those little skateboards from eBay. And then last but not least, on that video I bought all of the 12 volt electrics, which came to £298.91. so that was a little bit more expensive, but you're talking about like a leisure battery, like a split charge relay. Oh, my light's just gone off. Gutted. Video 14, going back onto that, so you've got the parquet floor, the skateboards, which I already went through, then you've got the 12 volt electrics, which were £298, so leisure battery, all the essentials that I needed, all the controls for the seats in the front, and then as well, I think there was a few more bits. It come to about 400 quid. It was not cheap, but you've got, you know, like a deep discharge battery there. What else was in that? It's just little things that add up to a lot of money, I think, you know. Now these seats are out of a Mercedes and they didn't cost me anything. It was they were a birthday present, so these seats are probably costing maybe £300, £400 from like a car breakers. And as well, on that 400 quid, you have the interior styling. So you've got the curtains, which are these, which my sister modified for me. Thank you, Katie, if you're watching. And my centre console, like all the bits and pieces for that, the curtain eyelets and the clips, and which were like these bits up here. And then you've got the sun visor hinges, which are in the front, which go on Instagram if you want to see that. And then you've got the skateboards and stuff as well. So all in all, little things that add up to a lot of money, things that are worth spending money on. I mean, if you've got to save up to get these bits and pieces, or you do them at a later date, as long as you kind of plan for it and leave the space there, or I don't know, maybe buy the skateboards first and use crap hinges, and then maybe at a later day use better hinges, things like that. I just went all out and bought everything like I wanted it to be in my head, in my vision. Moving on to video number 15. I think we're near at the end. So video 15 was all of the styling. So you've got the bumpers, which cost me £62 all in for like the paints. Then you've got the coilovers, cam belt kit, about 300 quid. And then you've got the wheels, which I had, which were 371 quid, which was like the white walls, like the new tyres, the hubcaps, and the clips and everything for the hubcaps as well. If you watch my Instagram, I haven't got the white walls on my van anymore because one of them came off on the motorway and dented the door a little bit and stuff. So what I'm going to do is just buy proper white wall tyres when I can afford them at the moment. I'm currently about 500 quid in my overdraft, so, but that's obviously fuel costs and just, I suppose, trying to live life quickly. It feels great to have like no postcode, to know that I haven't got to pay rent. My rent's literally my fuel and my car tax and insurance, which people would pay anyway. So, you know, it's great. The only challenging things are outlined in the next videos that are coming up. So, obviously it's not all glitz and glam. Probably the most expensive part of this van was the decor, which I said at the beginning of the video. All of that came to 556 quid. So you've got like these pillows here, which are like a nice goldy yellow colour. You've got these here, which I bought from Dunelm, hence why they're so expensive. Mattress, which was from Silent Night, which is like a 7-zone memory foam mattress. It's literally the most comfortable, and it's a bit lighter as well, and it's good for not kind of absorbing too much moisture, which was kind of a few reviews and stuff that I read up. And then the reason why it probably was so expensive is because this duvet is goose down. So goose down, I don't know if that, basically it has feathers in it. It's really comfortable. And the pillows as well, which are goose down as well. Oh, just basically they have feathers in them as well. That's pretty, I don't know why it came to so much, like crazy. I bought some other bits and pieces like a bin, and yeah, basically just come up to a lot of money. I don't know where all the money went, but there you go. And I bought like a blanket and stuff as well. You'll probably see in a few videos on Instagram. So that's pretty much it really. So total £2,739. could do it a lot cheaper if you wanted to. I know people that have converted, I don't know people, I've known of people on YouTube that have converted vans for like £1,000. But I mean, if you are willing to spend the money for a really good finish, then definitely go all out. Obviously, I'm a little bit fussy when it comes to certain looks. I've kind of brought together everything that I kind of envisioned over the years. So like doing shabby chic furniture, and you know, having like rustic picture frames. Actually, that's another thing. The picture frames would have all come in on that decor as well, which I've done. Like you'll see on Instagram, but like I bought picture frames and then like shabby chic them. So you've got like these pictures here, and you've got like this one here, which I shabby chiced. This one which I shabby chiced. That one which is shabby chic. That's me and Ironapple. And then that's me and Dave and everybody at the Live the Adventure Summit. And that's pretty much it. So all of these picture frames were like standard picture frames, and then I painted them different colours, mostly black, and then sanded them back so they've got that nice kind of distressed look. All these things you can kind of improvise and do yourself. YouTube is the great place because it shows you how to do absolutely everything. If you've got a little bit of a skill, there's no reason why you can't do anything or achieve anything that you want to achieve. Don't we just love the internet?